There we go. What's up, Christian? How's it going, man? Orion Overseer, what's up, brother? How you doing? Simply Deep, what's up, brother? How's it going, man? That's what's up, man. Talk to me. Let me know what's going on. Missed y'all, man. Got to do more videos, but it's been busy myself. Yeah, man, go for it. Oh, there we go. All right, question from Simply Deep, 1985. What's your opinion on movies that show men in embarrassing situations that would get you made fun of? And how would you handle that if that happened to you in real life? Be more specific. Like what's the embarrassing situation you're talking about? Can y'all hear me well? By the way, I just want to know because I got some beats playing in the background. So let me know if y'all hear me loud and clear. If the audio's good. Cool. Thank you. Okay. Simply Deep, 1985. Here's one example. Somebody walks in on you and a lucky lady at the wrong time at some secluded area. So you're saying a girl who walks, wait, somebody walks in on you while you're having sex with a girl? Is that what you're trying to say? I'm really trying to understand where you're going with this. So in this movie, what exactly is happening though? Like, what's the embarrassing thing? Like, how is this guy reacting in that situation? Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about now. Uh, I don't. I mean, what's going on, man? Swivful. I don't know how to pronounce that. I mean, sometimes if I were in that situation, I mean, I would just be like, "Hey, could you leave? Like, we're in the middle of something," and that'd pretty much be the end of it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I mean, the thing is, in that situation, let's say it's not even sex, but it's just, I guess it is some other kind of situation where you normally would like to be in private with someone else and something private is happening. I would just say, hey, I would basically be calm in that situation and just ask the other person to leave, and that's it, and let them excuse themselves, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? Because especially if I'm with a girl, I wouldn't want to be the one overreacting or freaking out. Then what happened is during finishing. Yeah, I remember back in my that actually did happen to me now that I'm thinking about it. Back in my pagan days, man, when I remember I had an ex girlfriend, probably around the time I was 18. Me and her were in the middle of having sex together. And my mother she started knocking on the door. And this is back when I used to live in my mom's house. So obviously she's freaking out. She doesn't want to be viewed as a slut or whatever, so she's under the bed, or under the blanket, no clothes on. I have to throw on some shorts, you know what I'm saying? We're playing it off like we're watching television or something. And yeah. So my mom comes in and she just wants to start having a conversation with the both of us about, I don't remember, she was asking for our opinion on something. And I'm like, just trying to get through the conversation so she could leave as soon as possible, and we're trying our best to play it off. But again, it just I think the big thing to do in that situation, if you're a guy, which I think is what you're getting at, is you definitely don't want to freak out. You just you just you basically mirror how you want your girl to react in that situation. She's probably already freaking out, so you got to be calm for the both of y'all, if that makes sense. But I know what you're saying, though. That would be kind of awkward. All right, let's see what we got here from. Bro, you got to tell me how to pronounce your name. And S. Vinful, that's how I'm going to say it for now. No problem, brother. Hear me out. Okay, this is from S. Vinful. Hear me out, brother. I'm with this girl over 5 years, and I think her sister likes me. How do I turn her down without making a scene? Because my girlfriend is the dramatic type. This girl over 5 years, and I think. Honestly, bro, that's not even a conversation you kind of have unless. Well, you have to give me more details. Is this girl really pressing you? Her sister? Is she really being like? She's sending advances, like low key sending advances, like, hey, if you want this, you can have this kind of situation behind your girlfriend's back, because that's foul. You know what I'm saying? That's something, honestly. Well, I'm gonna wait for you to give me more details, but if that's what's going on, I mean, you let your girlfriend handle that, bro. Don't even get involved with that. Now, yo, talk to your sister, man. Your sister's acting funny. You know what I'm saying? Thanks, man. Got to do something with this beard, but just taking advantage, bro. Taking advantage of this quarantine situation to see how this thing is gonna grow out, and once if it even can, doesn't grow out very full on the sides. So, since I'm not around the church sisters, I'm just kind of just letting it get a little shaggy, and then eventually I'm gonna clean it up. But what about y'all, man? Ask me some questions, man. Let me know how you guys are doing. She's showing all the signs, bro. She even can't. Hold on, let me read this again. S. Vinful. She's showing all the signs, bro. She even came in my room naked a few times. And why haven't you mentioned this to your girl? That's my question to you. Have you? I don't want to assume because I was assuming there, so my bad. But did you mention this to your girl? Let me just jump over here to Christian. Hey, what is your opinion on the coronavirus? Some say it's something straight out of a book, Revelations. I mean, it could be, man. I don't know, bro. I think it's. I don't know. I don't really, like I said, bro. I think I talked about this in the last live stream where there's so much conflicting information, and I don't really have an educated or informed opinion on all of it. I mean, I don't know anybody personally. I mean, actually, I take that back. I had my mother's aunt who got sick. Actually, I take that back. Never mind. There is a girl that I'm actually training right now from church who had the coronavirus, apparently. At least that's what the doctor says she had. She apparently had the coronavirus, and I guess she got sick for, like a week, and that was it. And I was, and now I train her, and I mean, my thing is, a lot of people are like, man, you should be careful. What if you catch it? I'm like, well, I just, it's not something I'm over. I want to let put me into a place of fear. Yes, I want to be cautious, but the girl's not showing any signs, and it's already out of her system. I don't know, man. I'm sorry for being all over the place with this, but you know what it is, man? I'm gonna be very honest about the whole coronavirus thing, bro. It's just when it comes to anything mainstream media. So like anything that's super mainstream media, and I noticed they're using as a scare tactic, and they're don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's not really happening because people are dying from this, but there is a conspiracy theorist in me, man, and I'm not saying that's accurate by any means, but I always question mainstream media, man. So until I know a bunch of people, something's happening, young people are dying, and it's definitively because of coronavirus, then maybe I'll be a little bit more like cautious about it as far as like, I'm gonna let this, I'm really gonna be wearing, because where I'm at, I don't have to wear a mask. We have the choice where you don't have to wear the mask over here in Orlando. Now there's other parts in Florida, like cities that are close by, like Kissimmee, where you have to wear the mask. Over here, you don't gotta do that, it's optional. And I know there's a big they're trying to politicize that right now. Like, oh, you don't wear the mask, you don't care. I'm like, well, no, I'm respecting everybody's space, I'm doing whatever. But at the same time, I don't know, man. I'm not going to live in fear over that, bro. I'm going to be cautious. I'm going to respect the laws or whatever the law currently is or the rules or whatever the current research is saying, but that's it. Yeah, like I said, brother, like I feel that way too, man. I think, bro, especially with the, not just to kind of, I'm going to like sidetrack for a second and then I'm kind of leave this topic alone, but like even with what they're paying for unemployment right now where I'm at, bro, it does feel like they're really trying to get people in a place, like they're throwing out a lot of money for unemployment, and it's kind of like a little too much, I think, because I think it's going to kind of become a socialism sort of situation if this keeps going on. You're going to have people who just like, why am I, like even me for right now, bro, like I'm out of work, but what they're giving me and what's currently out there because of all this coronavirus stuff, I'm like, damn, bro, like why am I even going to go to work at this point? But then I'm like, at the same time, I know there's another part of me like, nah, I gotta get back to work though. You know what I mean? Like I could be making more money, and plus, it's just, I don't trust the government like that. I'll be honest with you, man. Sorry, let me try to get my thumb out of here. Let me just try to jump into something else though. Just to kind of jump back to S. Vinful. I did, but I don't think she's being serious. Well, bro, then that's on your girl, but don't do anything stupid, man. If you like the girl, don't do nothing stupid. That's all I'm gonna say. Tell a little girl she need to back off, man. Put her clothes back on. Put her clothes back on and back off, bro. Orion Overseer, question. So I don't know if being single, I've noticed it more or something, but channels and people talking about giving up on women in relationships are more frequent. Thoughts? Giving up on women in relationships. What do you mean? Go ahead and clarify that a little bit more for me. I don't know if you're talking about more like red pill stuff. Advice for any guys with weak beards. Pontifex Maximus. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I think, and again, this is terrible advice. I don't have any really good advice on this. I've noticed when I was in my earlier 20s, I could only do like, I could grow like a mustache. I could grow some hair here and there, but I couldn't grow a full beard at the time. I just think with age, I don't know if your testosterone goes up. And again, like I said, bro, all I know is bro science on this. So I'm not the expert for this by any means. Like, I noticed once I started working out though, my hair started to get thicker. I don't know if there's any science behind that, so don't quote me on that. I know it sounds stupid, but I don't know. So I don't have any advice. I'm sorry. I don't on that. But just maybe do something. I don't know, bro. Just start lifting some weights, see what happens, man. Give it a couple years. But I think with age and time, I just think that naturally your beard grows thicker. Or some people just can't. Like my uncle, for example, dude's in his 50s, he still grows patches. So sometimes it's just a genetic thing, man. See, there you go with the coronavirus thing, bro. I think I saw that. I don't know if y'all saw that pandemic uh, video on YouTube or whatever, or the big, it's like a whole bunch of people watching it, and the big conspiracy theory thing. And again, I don't know, and I mean, I wouldn't doubt it, man. Again, I don't claim to know everything, because I'm just basically, you know what it is, guys. I'm the kind of dude, I don't even watch the news, man. I don't. I kind of get to a place. It's like, okay, I'm informed, cool. I'm gonna move forward now. I know, well, this is what's currently going on. Great. Don't tell me anything else, because at the end of the day, it doesn't really help the quality of my life. It doesn't really, if I'm not going to be watching news, you know what it kind of reminds me, like when 9/11 happened, back when I was like in ninth grade, bro. Like, you can sit there watching planes hit a building 24/7 all day, bro. What is that going to do to your mind? You know what I'm saying? It's just like, all right, it happened, man. Like, it's terrible. It sucks. It's freaking terrible. Okay, what can we do? Right? What's the solution? Great, let's do that for now and see what happens. Like, I'm done with it after that. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be thinking about this 24/7 all the time. You know what I'm saying? S. Vinful. I think strong men should have strong women beside them, 100%. I agree. Um, Believe me, bro, because you know what? I'm kind of currently going through this. Well, not really, but what I'm trying to say is right now I'm actually exploring the possibility of dating younger girls. When I say younger, I mean like, so I'm 32 now. I'm thinking about dating a girl who's 20 years old, bro. And before that, like, I would never do that, because what am I going to talk to her about? Like, this is like a baby. But the thing is with this girl, and again, this is just within a Christian context, the girl's really serious about, trying to pursue God. And, for those of y'all who aren't of the faith, there's a standard to live up to. You know what I'm saying? So this girl has to have a teachable spirit. She understands there's roles within our relationship that she has respect. And again, that means that I obviously I step in as a man. I protect her, I provide for her, I lead her, but she also respects that. And she helps me out too, because kind of going back to what you're saying, the reason why I'm kind of like on the fence about it is because younger girls, they don't have a lot of wisdom and life experience yet, especially a girl at 20. But if she's teachable and she's really trying to live by God's standard, that could kind of auto-correct itself over time. You know what I'm saying? Jack vs. Jack, what's up, brother? No, you haven't missed much yet, man. We're just kind of just catching up with everybody. But yeah, man, like at this point, it's all about teachability for me, bro. And the thing is, it's a lot of people in general just don't naturally, it's always comes down to a case of one person's expectations versus the other. And now I'm just kind of like, look, we're both doing things by a standard above our own. So if she's going to submit to that, which is submitting to God the same way I submit to God, and God says, you got to take care of that girl. That's my daughter. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, I'll do that. But we're both on the same playing field. You know what I'm saying? It's not about my selfish desires versus her selfish desires. It's like, yeah, we do got selfish desires, but we're going to surrender those, and we're going to do what's best for the both of us. And if we're going to have kids together, what's best for those kids. You know what I'm saying? So that's why, I'm considering dating younger girls, because the older girls at church, check this out, which is, y'all already know, There's girls who are older, now they're like, oh, I had my fun, I wasted my 20s. Now I want a nice church guy. And my thing is, I already know the game. I'm like, well, that's not going to happen with me. Like, look, if you really listen, I'm not judging a girl with a past, but if you really got a past and you really want to change, you need to spend some time getting right first. Getting right with the Lord, showing you serious, showing you truly want to be transformed, that you want to surrender your old ways and turn from that and do something new before you want to talk about being with a man of God, or a real godly man, not a cultural Christian, but a real born again man who's really going to take care of you. So I can't judge because I got a past. I've been with a lot of girls. But with that said, I'm not a sucker either. And this is why I've been telling y'all for years. I don't want y'all to be suckers either. So for me, that's why I'm kind of keeping my options open. I'm trying new things with younger girls and opening the door to the possibility, potentially dating them. I know I got to step into that role where it's like a 5-year period of like, I don't know if I want to be feel like somebody's dad for like 5 years, you know what I'm saying? But, at the end of the day, it is our job to lead women. And I think, like I said a long time ago, and I still believe it to this day, a good woman makes your life easier. She's willing to be taught, like, okay, here's how you can make it easier, for the both of us. I got a role, I'm trying to help you out, you help me out, we're a team. Do what you can right now. In the meantime, keep learning, just be open to it. Be selfless, man, because, humans are naturally selfish. I need a girl who's selfless, and I think y'all should look for the same thing. How do I get these damn comments to pop up? My bad. There we go. What's up, Polarity Games? What's up, brother? How you doing? Better Bachelor. Okay, let me go back to my bad for being all over the place here. Orion Overseer. Okay, so I'm assuming there's a YouTube channel. A dude named Better Bachelor on YouTube covers all kinds of stories about, modern women and men having nothing to gain in regards to relationships and benefiting from swearing off women. Here's what I'm going to say about that. A lot of these dudes, and again, that sounds within the realm of red pill content. I don't deny that, man. At this point in my life, I'm very aware, and again, this isn't a man thing, this isn't a woman thing, but it is a human condition thing. Again, people are inherently selfish. So I'm not going to date a woman who's unaware of the fact that she's inherently selfish and who wants to bring that into a relationship with me, because I'm not going to entertain that. If I'm going to be sacrificial, meaning I'm going to love her sacrificially in a selfless way, she's got to do the same thing. But again, that requires the both of us to surrender to the same standard. So, you know what I'm saying? This is why, for me, that works within a Christian context. And I don't want to keep talking about that just because I don't want to be that dude. But I'm saying that's why. I just know, I'm telling you, man, I've dated a lot of girls, all kinds of girls from all different walks of life. And it's a human thing, bro. You want a girl who's going to submit to, okay, you know what, you're right. You want a girl who's humble enough to admit that. I am selfish. I do have expectations. And a lot of things in society has pumped her up to a point where she might have, this unwarranted sort of sense of self-entitlement. Like a lot of girls, for example, they go on dating apps and they hook up with a lot of good-looking dudes, and they think, oh, well, see, a lot of good-looking dudes like me. I'm like, no, they don't like you. They just like having sex with you. You're not going to be able to lock down one of those guys. You know what I'm saying? And even if you did, so what? Like, they're missing the big picture. They're not thinking long-term. And my thing with this channel from the very beginning has always kind of been like, think long-term, man. You know what I'm saying? Always think long-term. Always start with a long-term vision in mind. Because the last thing you want to do is make a short-term decision and deal with long-term consequences from that short-term decision. I just wanted a good time. Well, you had a good time, and now there's long-term consequences to that. STDs, unwanted pregnancies, a girl that you don't even like, but you got to deal with because you got to child with her. I got a lot of friends I got a couple friends. I won't say a lot, but I got a couple friends dealing with that, man. And it's not pretty, bro. And it doesn't go away. So a lot of these channels got it right. Some kind of a lot of these relationships with here's the thing. A lot of these channels have it right, but they don't take any self accountability. Like, oh, modern women are the problem. Like, well, you're right, but you're a problem too, bro, because you're inherently selfish, just like she is. Okay, don't forget, it's always your expectations versus her expectations. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, simple as that. Just got to keep it real. So until you submit to a higher standard of what a relationship looks like, don't expect a relationship not to be who's holding more leverage over the other person, because that's what's going to come down to. Okay, that's what it is. Hang on a second, my bad. Let me look at some of these questions. Hater Ahmad, what's up? I don't know if you're still in here, but my bad. I'm over here rambling. Jack versus Jack. Do you think it's even possible to raise kids in this day and age? Brother, that's a good question, man. I think it is. It's a lot more difficult, though, man, because there's so much more cultural negative influences out there, man. It's so easy to get lost in this world, bro. It's so easy to get distracted, to buy into the lies of the world, bro, because all of it's a bunch of lies, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and all y'all are on social media, you're looking at other people's lives, you're comparing yourself, you're getting this idea of like, oh, this is what the good life is. I'm like, no, it's just a nice facade of what the good life is, bro. We see pictures, I heard someone say this recently, and I can't remember who it was, so I wish I can give credit, but I'm just going to say it, my bad. Somebody was saying something along the lines of like 40 years ago, people never, there was no social media, so you never saw what someone across the world was looking at. You wouldn't even see what it was like to travel there. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, you kind of, maybe you see it on TV at the time, but now we're on Instagram, and like, man, I need to do this, I need to do that, and this is the good life, and all these people are doing this. Why? You know what I mean? Like, and you're right to be worried about it, but again, man, this is why, bro, like, I hate bringing, I don't want to say I hate it, but like, it's just like so unavoidable. This is why myself, brother, this is why I had to surrender to a higher standard outside myself, because I thought, like you were saying, like, man, I'm worried about having kids in this world, bro. Like, I don't blame you, because I want to have kids. But I know at some point, if I try to do it on my own, even, because I'm a smart guy, I can kind of figure this out. You can protect your kids up to a certain point, but at some point, they're going to make their own decisions, and they're going to do their own things, and, until I can become the kind of man that's really walking the walk, and for me, that's doing things by God's standard. Until I could be that kind of man, I really, I need to get solid and strong with the Lord in our relationship so I could lead those kids. And again, that doesn't mean that doesn't guarantee that they're going to turn out to be great kids or anything like that. It just means they have at least some kind of moral foundation to them. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, the good thing is, though, is like I have a past. So a lot of kids, for example, at my church, they grew up in this little safety net where everyone has to be nice to them because this is what church people do and all this, that, and the other. But they're not prepared for the world. They're not prepared for the temptations out there. They don't know that it's all vanity. I know it because I've done it. I've slept with a bunch of girls. I've hung out with a bunch of rich friends. I've had a bunch of great times, man. It's fun, but it's not internally satisfying. It's not an answer to everything. And I can help these kids explain that. So, for example, if these kids are like, man, I really want to do this, and again, in a dialogue with that child, I could ask them, well, what do you think you're going to get out of it? Why do you want to do it? It could be a fun time, but a fun time could turn into a lot of bad things. Look, I could do cocaine one time, right? I'm like, listen to me. I was never a cokehead. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you could do certain drugs, have a good time, and it's cool to do it once, but some people get hooked. A good time could turn into a bad life. You could potentially develop unhealthy addictions, man. So something that was just meant to have a good time and experiment with something can become something you cling on to cope with, to get through life, and I'm able to have those conversations because ultimately at the end of the day, I'm aware of what it is they're trying to seek through those experiences, at the core of those experiences. You know, I get it because I know the human condition and I know what that entails, and I know we're always going to be pulled in different directions, but I know the consequences of that. And I can say it from a worldly level, from a worldly perspective, I could see that, and I could see it through a biblical sense where it all kind of meshes together. You know what I mean? So for me, because again, I have my own experience, I know what I know, but I also know there's God's standard, and, it's the best you can hope for, man. But it is scary, you're right. It's a scary time, bro. There we go, my bad. Christian, Littell, my bad, bro. How do you say your last name? Littell. Is it Littell? Littell? Is it possible to have a balance with sin? For example, can you still be a badass and follow God, or because the Bible teaches a lot of pacifism? You know what? I've been meaning to do a video about that, man. So I've been thinking about that for a while. The Bible doesn't teach pacifism. You know what I'm saying? And as a matter of fact, we'll have that conversation offline. You know what I'm saying? Just hit me up in the DM box, bro. I'll get back to you on that because I don't want to turn this into a whole big theological discussion. But just hit me up, man. I've been meaning to get back to you on that. Nicholas Paul, dude, it's been 4 years since I've heard a peep from you. I blame the YouTube algorithm. First time seeing your face. This is crazy, man. Hope you're doing well. Wow, bro. Yeah, man. I unmasked a while ago, so it's good to see you too, man. Even though maybe you're one of those silent watchers, because I don't really remember you too often. But I'm glad you're here, man. God bless you too, brother. I only watch your YouTube vids, never gotten into your streams. Hope you're staying safe as well. Well, yeah, this is like probably the third stream I've ever done ever, so I don't do a lot of these, but I want to just kind of explore with them and see where I want to go with it. But thanks, man. I hope you're staying safe too, man. You got any questions, brother? Christian Lightsail, thank you for everything you do. It helps me out a lot. Hey, man, I'm glad I could help, bro. Just want to, I know I don't do a lot of the videos, man, and I just don't, again, I'm still kind of in a weird place, knowing where to go forward. I don't know what you guys really need help with, man. Y'all got to let me know. I mean, if I can help, I want to. Trust me, bro, and I know I could be very selfish, man. Because I'll be honest with you, I'm not really interested in being a YouTuber like that. I just feel like it's something that I can't have, a group of people out there who, or young guys, I got a lot of young guys out there that watch me, and I got to, we got to talk, man. We got to have dialogues. We got to have conversations, man. If I can help y'all grow in any way, I want to be able to do that. And again, man, it comes from a place of love. I love you guys, man. So I'm glad I could help. Orion Overseer, if you could live comfortably doing your passion, what would it be? You know what, for me, man, what I've been realizing this past year is like something that I'm really passionate about is I love being able to kind of be like I think the right word is catalyst. Like be a catalyst or like a cause for light bulb moments in someone's brain, bro. Like when I talk to somebody and I see a light bulb just kind of flicker and turn on, like, oh man. It's like I've been thinking about this for a long time and you just kind of switched the light for me and like, I see it, thank you. That makes me happy, man. That really kind of inspires me and motivates me because I know when I was growing up, my dad, although he meant well, my dad wasn't really great at giving advice or answering questions. He wasn't the most articulate guy. He was a hustler. But, great provider, but he wasn't really good at guiding. You know what I mean? His advice to me, like, for example, was like I'll be like, hey, man, today I went to school and this girl rejected me. And he's like, that's great. So what are you going to do to make money? Like, that was his advice. Now, I get it. Don't get me wrong. I see the value in that. But it's like, well, hold on, though. Like, you got to understand, I'm like a 12, 13-year-old kid. Like, this rejection, this situation I'm going through right now is my world. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you have any insights or something? So I know what it's like to kind of have that lack of, another man, role model, you know what I'm saying, that could talk to you and kind of walk you through these things. So I love to do that, bro. Like if I could do that, which, if you could do that and make money, which you can, if you want to do the whole life coaching route, which, for me, I'm doing it now for free and I'm happy with that, bro. I can make money doing other things. My other thing, though, to that is I also like freedom. I like having my own schedule. I don't like having to answer to someone, especially when I'm paying my taxes and obeying the laws of the land. I don't want nobody to have any kind of lever or control over me where they're like, hey, well, you got to show up to work at this time and leave at this time and go on vacation here and there. And I'll tell you when you can see your family or do what you want to do. That's something for me personally. Like, a lot of people are cool with that. And I'm not judging nobody who is cool with that. But me personally, I don't like that. I really, really, really don't like that. So entrepreneurship in some way, shape, or form is my go-to. So whether that's through being a catalyst for light bulb moments or just going out and doing something on my own, making my own money and not having to depend on nobody to do that, that's something, for me at this point, that's what, me personally, is what, I would say I'm passionate about at this point, man. Jack versus Jack, you staying fit at home with all the gyms closed? Yeah, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's been a little more difficult because it's just less motivation, man. Like, you know what it is? It's blending everything together, man. It's like blending your place of rest with your place of work, with your place of fitness. You know what I mean? Like, when I come home, I don't want to think about doing anything I would normally have to leave the house to do, if that makes sense. Like, it's been a mental thing for me. And plus, obviously, not having a full gym with all the equipment and all this other stuff. Even this girl that I'm training right now, I've had to get really creative just to kind of, come up with some makeshift equipment at home just to kind of, at least because I don't want to rob her of her money. So I'm like, look, we got an hour. I'm going to try to, like, push you as hard as I can. A lot of it's kind of, well, good thing for her, she's at her, in beginning stages, so we don't necessarily have to move to weighted exercises. But look, if you're gonna make muscle, you gotta put more tension on the muscles, man. You gotta put tension, and it's hard to do that with just calisthenics. You know what I mean? So I'll basically, I've been doing a lot of push-ups. I mean, thank God I got the weighted vest here, the 40-pound weighted vest, so that's good. I could do pull-ups. I could do all my calisthenics, but just push some weight at the same time, which is cool. But it hasn't been the same, man. So I'm just maintaining at this point. I'm not making any gains. I'm just maintaining what I got, and I'm kind of getting fat too, a little bit, a little chunky because all I'm doing at home. Look, I'm drinking beer with you guys. I'm eating Chinese food and pork chops every day. And before that, I got like a bunch of just juice and stuff in my fridge. I gotta get all that crap out of my fridge because that's where it really is. When I have food in my fridge, I don't care what it is, I'm gonna eat it because I like to eat food. I got those Super Saiyan genetics, bro. Like, I just love tearing through food. So I gotta get that out of my fridge. So once I finish all that, I'll probably lean out, you know what I mean, as a byproduct. Because I usually only keep water, some source of protein. Usually it's eggs or something like that, and some kind of, I don't know if it's chicken or steak or pork chops or something. Normally at McDonald's, or at least from the dollar menu, and it's usually sandwiches. But since I work out, I balance it out so I don't really get fat. But yeah, man, it's been more of a mental thing than anything. But I'm maintaining, man. You know what I mean? What about you guys, man? What do you guys how's your personal fitness going, or how's your girl? How's things going with your girl, man? You guys getting any experience with the ladies? Or how's things at home, man? How's things at home with your family, or how you guys coping through this whole coronavirus thing? I'm surprised I haven't even asked that yet. What are you guys doing with all this free time? Yeah, Jack versus Jack. Yeah, rubber bands are no substitute for steel weights. I feel you, bro. I don't really do any of the rubber band kind of. I don't even. I know what you're talking about, like as a supplement to kind of do calisthenics, or not a supplement, but just like kind of an added equipment to whatever. But I don't really do that. Just it's mostly just okay. Pontifex Maximus. How do you deal with a crazy, controlling mother? Walk me through, or just give me some examples of how does she go about controlling you, and what's your reaction to it? Pontifex Maximus, threatening to take my stuff or embarrass me, insulting me whenever I don't listen, and just being super dramatic. It sounds like your mother's desperate and coming up with any tactic she can to try to get you to bend to what she wants you to do. Now, what is it that, she's trying to get you to listen to that you're not listening to? Because although I don't agree with her methods of doing it, going about what she's doing, there might be a reason she feels like she needs to go to the extreme. And I mean, granted, yes, she's good. Women are. I don't want to generalize every woman that way, but they do tend to be over dramatic about things, especially when they're in the role. And I don't know where your father is, but when they're in the, I'm assuming. Well, where's your dad? Is your dad around? And if he's not around, I would assume she just feels like she has to do whatever she has to do to kind of be mom and dad, and she doesn't know how to be dad. because it's not natural to her. So she's probably jumping to extremes to try to get you to listen. Orion Overseer, in regards to ladies, man, was talking with a girl from campus who ran in my group and was told we'll see, only to find out she was trying with another friend of mine, nothing gained, no lost. Yeah, it happens. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but the only thing is, if it becomes a pattern, if this is something that happens to you regularly, then you might want to start asking different questions. You might want to kind of start questioning again, not beat yourself up or whatever, or feel bad about it, but just kind of own what you might be doing to potentially turn girls off, because we all do certain things. I know I do, that I've had to dial it back in certain ways. Chaz Barry, yo, what's up, man? Used to watch all your videos and so glad you're back into the YouTube scene. Thanks, man. I'm trying to be back into it. I'm trying as best as I can. But I appreciate your support, brother. Pontifex Maximus. Parents are divorced. Mom's a crazy overthinker who worries about everything and has little faith in my abilities. Okay, so you acknowledge that you do have abilities. And what are those abilities, and how is she preventing you from basically proving that you can do what you're claiming to do? How is she overstepping and getting in the way of that? Yeah, hold on a second. All right, Jack versus Jack. See you around, brother. And just for the record, Pontifex Maximus, just so you know, with girls, man, that's just kind of a traditional trait. They do tend to overthink, especially when they're in a position where they feel like they got to be a dad and a mother. They're overthinkers by nature, especially when they don't have kind of a strong, solid man to kind of help them relax or to help relieve the load. So you got to kind of be a little gracious with her. I'm not saying the way she's going about dealing with you is right, but she's a flawed person trying to do the best she can. And sometimes, hold on a second, let me see. The best you can do is just kind of, if you really know you got confidence and you can take care of yourself or fend for yourself, just do it. And that'll be a relief for her, so she could just kind of stop nagging you and stop treating you a certain way, which again, hold on, see what you said. My bad here. Chazberry. And she gets upset with me if I disagree with even the most basic things. She also thinks I have a child complex or something. She thinks I am stuck in an immature, childlike mindset. She genuinely always has my best interest at heart and is a great person, but I don't know what to do. Agree if I disagree with the most basic things. Thinks I have a child complex. Well, again, man, I mean, this is probably a conversation me and you got to have offline, probably through Instagram. Andy Concept 87 on Instagram. I don't know all the details, but what I will say is you got to look at both sides, man. You got to see if she's actually speaking some truth here. What does she claim? Why does she think you have a child complex? Why does she think you're an immature child? And she might be right. You know what I'm saying? So you got to consider these things. And with that said, she might be wrong. But chances are she probably doesn't know how to articulate what she's trying to say, so she jumps to insults. She jumps to being dramatic. You know what I'm saying? Women are, and again, I'm going to generalize here for a second, and it's just a common thing. Women are really great at being cheerleaders, but they're not always the best practitioners. Rather, they don't know how to, what I mean by that, maybe I'm not explaining that in the best way, I'm not using the right words, but they don't know how to take a boy and kind of teach him through a step-by-step sort of linear process and guide them into manhood, because they're not men. You know what I mean? So they just kind of assume, well, you should know what to do. I'm like, well, I'm a young kid. I don't know. I don't know what to do. So, you know, Chasberry, I think she is right to an extent, but I also feel like she is a part of who I am. She believes it because I was coddled as a child, which she is correct about. Yeah, so she's kind of seeing there's probably a certain level of softness to you as a kid. A lack of maybe, she probably has doubts about your ability to be self-reliant as a man. And again, the divorce that she had with your father, and I don't know what your relationship is like with your father, that divorce had an effect on that. She took, I don't want to say she, but what happened with your parents, whatever the circumstances were that caused them to split, they took a father figure out of your situation. So she's just like, where is your dad, by the way? Like, how often you talk to him? Because you need to talk to a man to walk you through this process, man, because she can't do that job, but she knows. She's basically trying to tell you, and this is kind of weird. I'm trying to try to frame this as best as I can. If she met a man out in the world, let's say she's going out she's trying to date again. She met a man who had your characteristics right now where you currently are. And this isn't a way, I'm not saying this to judge you or condemn you or make you feel bad. I'm saying you're still developing. If she met a man who she felt was still developing in some kind of way, basically meaning this isn't a man, this is somebody that I need to help grow in some kind of way. Okay, cool. So you're teachable. I like that. It's a turnoff. Women kind of walk into situations looking to find a man who already has things figured out. So she's thinking, once my son Chaz goes into the world and starts dating with women, they're gonna get a set, or even just in the workplace, has nothing to, it's relative to everything. There's just this, the word I'm looking for is underdevelopment, right? This guy's just underdeveloped in some ways. I don't know if I could trust him. Maybe you're an emotional kind of guy at this point. You respond to things emotionally. You don't have your emotions in check. You're not, maybe you're somebody who is not reliable. Maybe some people can't depend upon you because you're kind of flaky. You know what I mean? Depending on how you feel a certain day, you may or may not do a good job, or you may or may not keep your word. You know what I mean? Things like that. And I think she means well, but it is freaking annoying too. So I'm not denying that could be the case, but it happens. But it's partly her fault too, just for raising a child in this situation. So she's learning on the fly and how to be a good mother, and and she can only be a mother, and that's what she needs to focus on instead of trying to be a dad. Okay, Chaz Berry. I get my feelings hurt easily. I would say I'm a very reliable person. I genuinely care about people more than myself. And this is my girlfriend, not my mom. Oh, my bad. Maybe I misread that. Well, that's even worse then, bro. She's going to leave you at some point. And I'm just saying that to keep it real with you. You get your feelings hurt easily. Well, first of all, I don't know how this girl's talking to you, so that's a whole other situation. Respect's a big thing, and when you feel, if you're legitimately, let's say you're just being overly sensitive, that's a problem. If you can't take a joke, if you're someone to take offense to things easily, that's a problem as a man. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if I'm hanging out with guy friends and I'm just kind of, we're jokingly just kind of ragging on each other, you know what I mean? We're just making fun of each other, but we don't really mean it. If you're someone to get offended easily, if you're someone who's petty, you have a petty nature, you got thin skin, that's not a masculine trait, bro. And again, just to be clear, that's something that's built through time. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so you're talking about your girlfriend here, Chazberry. She talks as if she is my superior, and then I get defensive, and then she gets mad at me for being defensive. Oh, so this is almost kind of excuse my language, but a shit test situation here. In these situations, you do need to stand up to her. Respectfully, don't get emotional and mad or yell back at her, but you just let her know, you know what? I don't like the way you're talking to me, and I'm not entertaining it. And you can either stop doing that, or we could just not be together. You got to sit her down and have that talk. Like, listen, do I talk to you with disrespect? And if you do, you got to stop. It all goes back to that biblical principle of treat others the way you want them to treat you. You speak to her with respect, but she decides that she's going to come and treat you with disrespect. That's where you got to lay down. You got to put your foot down and let her know, listen, this isn't acceptable. That's it. Simple as that. This isn't acceptable, and I'm not putting up with it. But she can't sense that you don't really mean what you're saying. So if you say, I'm really going to leave, you really got to leave. You really got to be about it. Otherwise, you're putting on a performance, and she knows it. So a lot of girls sometimes, they date guys who are a little, they're dependable. For example, they're great providers, but they're not good influencers. So they think they could talk to you a certain way. No, you can't. You don't get to talk to me that way, especially if I don't treat you that way. You know what I'm saying? Bocephus, yo, how we doing? Stream going well? Yeah, it's going well, man. A couple guys in here just talking. How you doing, brother? Now, Chasberry, I would say defensive, you don't need to argue with a girl. If that's what you're doing, arguing with her, you don't argue. You just let her know what you're willing to put up with and what you're willing to not put up with, man. That's it. It's not an argument. It's nothing to argue about. Say, hey, I don't like the way you talk to me. Now, if she isn't really, you gotta be honest with yourself. If she's really just kind of just trying to talk to you about it, but you're easily offended and taking it the wrong way, you gotta really be honest with yourself, man. Okay? Chasberry, thank you so much for the advice. I know I have things I need to work on, but I try to let her understand she has things to work on too, and it's not just me. And fair enough, listen, man, you got to have both of you. This is why, look, dude, why do you think I'm a Christian, brother? You see what I'm saying? I only date girls who also have this spirit of teachability. That means I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong, and I'm willing to get better at something if I'm objectively wrong. And the only way I can be objectively wrong is if I'm living to a standard outside of my own. Otherwise, we define what truth is. I go to God's standards. So if she goes, Andy, I know you mean well, but your words, they're a little callous, they're a little cold. You know what I mean? Can you be a little more gentle with me? I hear what you're saying, because sometimes you can tell the truth, and it's accurate, it's right information, but it could still hurt. Sometimes you just got to soften your words a little bit. You can still get the message across, but just be loving with it. This girl, if she doesn't have a spirit of teachability, she's not someone you want to be with long term, man. I'm telling you right now. I promise you you don't want to deal with that hell on earth. Okay? So take that into consideration, man. You know what I mean? Just like if you're willing to admit you're wrong and she's not, dude, that's a bag of bricks you need to put down, bro. Just keeping it real. Because I love you. Chasberry, she believes she knows everything and never accepts what I say. And I know it sounds like I should end things. And maybe I should. But literally, everything else about her is what I want. Dude, I don't... Listen to me, brother. And I get exactly what you're saying. And I spoke about this a little bit in my Christian testimony. But there was a girl that I thought this girl was my unicorn, but I knew she wasn't. I felt it. And this is why, bro, the Bible says your heart is wicked and deceitful amongst all things, bro. Your feelings, don't let your feelings guide you, man. Okay, look, you don't got to believe in the Bible to understand this, is what I'm trying to say. Don't follow your feelings, man. Well, first of all, your feelings are kind of evidence for things, not to be confusing, but You don't like the way she's treating you. You're like, oh, I can accept everything. Everything else about her is great. If she's not willing to work or to be teachable in this with this particular area of your life, she doesn't care about you, bro. Especially if you're trying to be teachable. Again, it goes back to teachability. You don't want to deal with what you're dealing with for the rest of your life. Think about it that way. It's cool now, it's cute now, oh yeah, it's not a big deal. It's going to get really annoying. And all those things you like about her, okay, this shadow of what you don't like right now is it's gonna just outweigh all the rest of that stuff. Trust me, with time, this needs to be addressed. And if she's not willing to work on it, drop her. Drop her. Okay? That's what I'm gonna tell you about that. Bocephus, yeah, I had a girl who was like that. Best thing I ever did was break things off with her. Haven't found anyone else yet. But not having that weighing on my conscience is the best. Yeah. Listen to me, bro. Listen to me, Chaz. All right? As you get older, things you're going to prize more than anything else on earth. I don't care. I mean, more than material things, than personal relationships, is your peace of mind, okay, amongst all things. I don't care what she looks like. I don't care how cool she is. I don't care how much you like her. If that girl is stealing your peace of mind from you and making your life more miserable than better, she needs to go. All right? She needs to go. That's a fact. I'm saying that because I love you. Orient Overseer. So after listening to you and Chaz, I'm thinking in regards to women in relationships, I'm still visibly a mess. After a 5-year relationship that ended horribly, I still hold on to my ex's memory. Listen to me, man. Listen, we all go through things and we hold on to certain things, bro. Put down a bag of bricks, man. Especially if you know it was what's best for you. And it all comes down to you just kind of like, again, everything goes back to Jesus, bro. Everything. When you have that void on the inside, you think about past relationships. And what coulda, shoulda, woulda been if I did. Listen, man, it doesn't matter. It's over. And that's never going to fulfill you. None of that. Okay? Life's tough, bro. And you want someone who's a teammate who understands it's tough too. And you need two people that you can, bro, you're called to come together biblically and link together as a team and get through this life together and love each other selflessly. And if a girl doesn't have that kind of attitude, which, again, a girl who's not truly born again, who's not a God-fearing woman, isn't going to have that attitude. It's all about, what have you done for me lately? You don't want to deal with that, bro. Trust me. I promise you, you don't want to deal with that. Bocephus, do you ever get tired of answering relationship issues? Yes, I do. But it's such a central part to the human experience, man, that it's never going to go away. You know what I mean? It's just something that people, look, you just got to think about it from like a worldly sense. You know, it's central to everything. The reason why we do things is because of relationships. You feel me? Like, we're trying to have certain relationships with certain types of people. So it's always going to be a thing. But I get what you're saying, especially when it comes to girls. I mean, it just is what it is, man. You just kind of learn the principles and you move from there. And once you know what you're doing, get to that place, especially as you get older, just kind of like, that's why I stopped doing the channel for a little bit, because I was like, what else do I got to say about this, man? I mean, I could milk you guys for views, right? If I want to do that and use the titles and the tags and, here's how, basically do like 15 versions of the same video with different titles, saying the same thing in a different way, from a different angle. It's the same crap. It's all the same thing. You're going to hear the same information. It's all the same answers. But, a lot of people just want to spin their wheels, brother. Everybody wants to spin their wheels instead of just accepting the truth, okay, about the human condition and moving from there. When you do that, guess what? You have peace and everything's... My bad, the camera slipped down over here. You got peace and you get to focus on other things, man. Let me see here. Chazberry, she also made it clear in the past arguments that I am all she has, and she gets very down on herself in a dangerous way, and it made it hard for... Oh, God, so was she, like, suicidal or something? Like, she's trying to guilt you into staying with her, basically? It's made it hard for me to accept... Listen, man, you're not Jesus Christ, bro. You're not our Savior. So you love her as a friend. You're better off being a friend. If you say, listen, If you break it off and go, listen, I romantically we're just not working out, but I will be here for you as a friend. And if you can't do that comfortably and you feel like you still got some emotions, some emotional attachment to her, then you just got to disappear, bro. Your job is not to be Jesus to this girl, bro. You understand? Orion Overseer, but I doubt myself and can't provide solid support. Do you have any help for getting over relationship damage? Hit me up on Orion Overseer. Hit me up on Instagram, bro. We'll talk about this because I don't want to take up too much time here with that. Bocephus, what are some other issues would you be more inclined to work with than relationship issues, assuming there's some hierarchy of questions you do and don't like the answer, that is? You know, I guess, I don't know, man. I guess it's kind of selfish. Like, sometimes I look for questions and I'm like, man, it's not fair because I forget where I used to be. And I would probably be asking a lot of relationship questions or things centered around relationships if I didn't know what I know. So it's kind of like I have that attitude sometimes of like forgetting where I came from. So I get it, man. You know what I mean? It's not about me. At this point, it's not about me personally. But through these relationship questions, it all points to the, what I know now. But at the same time, I understand I don't want to be the dude who's trying to impose his beliefs on others. All I'm saying is everything that you're going through, any single person in this chat or who's watched my videos or watches any other self-help, it all points to that void on the inside of yourself. The reason you're putting up with all this crap and asking these kind of questions is because you're trying to hold on to something that you think anchors you emotionally. You think that adds meaning to your life. Or is going to, you know what I mean? It's that provides you with some sort of false sense of security or something. You know what I mean? Like it's all pointing to that void on the inside. And it could be about questions, it could be about this, it could be about that. But the real questions I would like is just kind of, questions that kind of center around people being a little bit more, and again, I don't want to sound arrogant or, I don't know, I guess more like, more self-aware than other people, but like more like just kind of people who question why do I do these things? Why is this so important to me? Just kind of like questioning to a point where they become more self-aware of things in their life, that they get to a place where like, okay, I'm doing these things and I know they're wrong, but I just can't stop doing them. Why? You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of you guys, for example, talking to Chaz Berry here, he knows he's putting up with some crap. You know what I'm saying? He knows. But he's still doing it. Why? I would like for him, you know what I mean? And not to put you on blast, Chaz Berry, but for you to kind of think a little deeper into that. Just be a little more self-aware, man. Ask yourself why. Just be self-aware. And then from there, the real questions start coming out. The reason why you're doing all these things, man. So I don't even know if I answered your question with all that, but my bad. So that's pretty much kind of how I feel personally. Like I really want to be able to facilitate, or I just want to be able to be somebody who gets people to truly transform. And I don't think self-help is the route, but I think it's helpful. It is helpful, but it's not the end-all be-all of everything, man. It's not going to help you get from, point A to point B in some cases. It's just you dancing around the root issue. Bocephus, as a born-again Christian, do you believe that true happiness comes from inside the self or through God? Or maybe a mix of both? At this point in my life, true happiness, I want to be careful when I say that word happiness because, again, that's a feeling and it's fleeting. For me, on a deeper level, I think joy is what you're looking for. Everybody wants to know we have this sustainable sense of internal joy we can always tap into. Not only that, but peace of mind, a feeling of completeness. Right, yeah, and I hear what you're saying. It is subjective happiness, but I'm saying everybody wants peace of mind. Everybody wants to be loved unconditionally. Everybody wants to feel like they're living a life that has purpose or meaning. Everybody wants to, and again, we try to do these things through careers, through becoming family men and raising kids, or being in romantic relationships, or things of that nature. But it's just again, it's like pouring water into a bucket with a hole in it. It's never enough. You know what I'm saying? It's always never enough. There's always, I want more, I want more, I want more. So essentially, my goal is not necessarily to point people towards, this sense of happiness all the time. Because I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and say, every day is a happy, super duper happy day for me. But what I'm saying is, I know, dude, especially like you said, as a born again, I'm glad you put the emphasis there. When you're regenerated, that heals addictions, man. It makes you realize how much you were following things that you thought were the answer to your problems, but are truly just vanity. They're a good time, and people can spend decades pursuing a good time, but it's not internally fulfilling. So what I would like for you guys to get to is a place of internal satisfaction, fulfillment. Robo King, what's up, brother? That's the goal, man, for me. I would like for you guys to, basically, here's like a little illustration. So I feel like everybody is like this puzzle, right? You pull a puzzle out of a box, you sprinkle it everywhere, you start putting the pieces together, but there's that one piece you can't find, and you go your whole life trying to find it, and you just can't do it. And it's just like, what can I do through my own efforts to find this piece? And eventually you just give up, and you're like, I don't know. And if there is a God, right, that's when you start asking the God questions, right? If there is a God, please, let me know, because I've done everything. Now, people who have never even tried to chase their dreams or their goals or whatever, you're going to always think, once I get there, that would have been the answer. No, it's not, dude. I could tell you. And I mean, you're saying, how are you going to tell me what I feel? Listen, we are built differently with different ambitions and dreams and goals or whatever, but it's never going to be enough. Look at people who are further down the road than you, okay? People who have had fame, success, all these things, all these worldly things we all strive to. The American dream. They get the American dream and they freaking kill themselves, or they're still depressed, or they're still lying to themselves, or they have these low-key addictions to help cope through life. And listen, I'm not judging them, because I had mines. Mine was sex, and it was alcohol, and, pretty much sex for the most part. I'm going to keep it real. I'm pretty basic in that regard, but it was just like, damn, who would I be if there was no women? Would I still be here? What am I doing? Why am I doing this? And I'm thinking, okay, well, through a family, through legacy, that's going to fill the void. And it's like, no, it's not. And even then, that's still a selfish reason to even bring a child into this world, dude. Bocephus, what would you say to someone, and thank you for cutting me off there, I was going on a bit of a rant. What would you say to someone who has no idea what they want to do with their life? Well, I think everybody does have natural interests and gifts and certain personalities, things of that nature. I think you just want to explore, man, and don't beat yourself up over it. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to beat yourself up over the fact that you don't know, but that you're exploring, because you're going to probably look at your other peers, oh man, my friend's an engineer and he's making all this money, and what about me and what I want to do? Listen, you know in your heart what you want to do, or what you would like, even if you don't know how to put it all together, okay, 10 years down the road, I would like to have this, and this in my life. Why? And that's a part of you, man. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to bring fulfillment to your life, but it's still something you feel like you would like to do. For me, it's always been being a family man. You know what I mean? I like the idea of, I really love being around women, but I want one woman, because being with too many becomes hectic, bro. It's a hectic lifestyle, and I don't want to deal with that crap. One woman is enough for me, man. It's enough of a hassle. It can be a good thing, but it can become a hassle at some point. One woman's good enough for me, but just, I want to do something more with that, man. When you make your life all about you, you realize it's empty, because it's all self-absorbed. Whether you're, again, I always say this, whether you're an introvert or not, whatever, if you're more extroverted, you still need to be a part of serving. Even before I was saved, I knew on some level, if you're living with purpose, you're serving others in some way, shape, or form. Other people are involved in you having a purpose, right? You're doing something for other people. That's why a lot of people get into philanthropy when they get rich. Like, I got to do something outside myself. Even though in some cases people still make it about themselves, whether they're conscious of it or not. But you just want to take it step by step, man, if you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you want to do, but you kind of know what you would want to do today, and just kind of do that. And but as long as it's not self-destructive, because there's that part of yourself too. For me, at some point I was like, well, I don't want to do nothing progressive in my life. I just want to chill. I want to have girls around. I want to have a little bit of money. You know what I'm saying? I just want to chill. I'm a chill guy. I don't need to do what other guys need to feel like they need to do. This is what I'm saying. I used to think I don't need to have some big grand sort of goal or achievement to feel like I have meaning in my life. But other people do need to do those things. They need to be workaholics. They need to achieve great things to feel like they have meaning or purpose, or they need that kind of status, that kind of clout. Status for me has never been a big thing. It's never been something. I don't need other people. I've never been big on human validation in the sense where I need an audience, for example. Like, I need a whole bunch of people to know that I'm special. For me, it's more like I need a few people to know that I'm special. And those people are people that I pretty much, in a sense, you kind of make them your God, right? So your spouse or your kids, I need them to know that I'm special. Or maybe it's your dad or your mother or some close friends or some people, some kind of social group you're trying to get into. But the reality is, for me, in my worldview, it's all about me doing things to glorify God. I only care about what God thinks. And that kind of helps me, it helps me get outside myself, bro. But it's true. For me, again, I'm not trying to impose anything. I'm just trying to answer your question the best I can with that. But nothing is about me at this point. That's why I'm even doing, whatever. I'm doing a live stream or the videos. I'm not saying I'm doing the best job, but I'm saying I still do it because that's what God calls me to do, man. God calls me to just love people. So I'm trying my best to love y'all, man. And I'm sure I'm probably annoying some of y'all with, the Christian talk if you're not a Christian, but, that's okay. Love is uncomfortable, man. You have uncomfortable conversations and you talk about things that people aren't going to like. And that's okay. I'm cool with that, man. Jose Castaneda. Hi, thanks for sharing your point of view. Have you read good theology books? If you do, which would you recommend? Thank you for your time. Not really. I haven't. I'm still doing a lot of learning myself. A lot of what I've been reading, it's just, it's been mostly Bible at this point, man. Just trying to get a better understanding. I got it all down packed as far as like a general overview, but I just want to understand on a deeper level. I think every answer to life is in that book, bro, believe it or not. Once you kind of realize it and you move into it with an open mind and an open heart, and you really see what it says about the human condition and everything else, you realize, man, like, wow, this is like so accurate about me. After you start feeling convicted, because it's talking about you, man. But a lot of people don't like that. They don't like to feel convicted. Robo King, love Christian talk. Not enough this out here on YouTube, bros. Keep on doing it. I appreciate that. Robo King, how do you deal with people on morality and where it comes from? Normally leads to heated debate, which I'm not a fan of, but when talking politics or whatever, it always seems to go that route. See, for me, Robo King, at this point, man, one thing that I think that this is my route. And again, what you're trying to do is pretty much witness this, on some level. Whenever I want to talk to someone about Jesus, first of all, I do it in a one-on-one setting. That's why I kind of don't like doing it in this context. But in a one-on-one setting, you could really get down to that. I always like to start with the void inside. Everybody knows that feeling, man. They know. Everybody knows that emptiness on the inside. Everybody knows that. Everybody. I don't care what you believe. That insatiable sort of thirstiness. You're always hungry. You know, you always got to like, you know, you just can, you know what I mean? It's hard to stay still. Like, that's why people who do a lot of just like, I just chill and play video games at home all day, but you feel like crap about it. You feel like you're wasting your life. There's something you should be doing. And then you start actually doing things, and it's never enough. You want to keep doing things. Then you start getting, you know, you start reaping the rewards from all the effort you're putting in. And you get the rewards, and you're like, well, this was a fun time, but it's just, you know, this is good. I'm going to keep like, you know, for example, let's say you start making it in the world, you start getting a lot of girls' attention. Okay, I got these girls now. Now I just want to keep hooking up with them. Then you kind of fall into this addiction, and it's just never enough. You always got to keep doing it. You're always spinning your wheels forever. Or I got to get these nice new cars. You know, I work hard. I want these material things, or I want these kind of friends, these kind of girls, whatever it is for you. Everybody's got their own thing. It's just never enough. It's like you have this eternal internal void that's just never, ever going to be fulfilled. And everybody knows that feeling. Even if they haven't reached their goal yet, if you really ask them, so you think that's the end all and be all, once you reach that goal, you think you're finally going to be at peace, you're finally going to have peace of mind, you're not going to have any anxiety, you're finally going to reach that level of feeling accepted. Again, having an identity and something that's not fading with time, but something that's sustainable. You know what I'm saying? And that's something a lot of people don't understand about being a born-again Christian. Is like, you're sustained emotionally. You know what I mean? It's not because you believe in a lie, or, oh, this is a nice wishful thinking and it's just something I convince myself to believe. No, dude, once you're born again, and you again, I like to use a puzzle picture illustration. God puts that last missing piece there. Nothing's the same after that, man. And all you want to do is talk about God, bro. And I don't, you know, not to annoy people, but it is going to get annoying. Because it's like, wow, you know, especially for me, because I've been in the world for so long, and I've got to accomplish everything I wanted to accomplish. And it wasn't enough, man. It didn't give me what I was looking for. I didn't believe in happiness, again, at one point in my life. It was just about peace of mind. How do I have peace of mind? That's what I want. How do I get that? And I couldn't get it through my own efforts. As a matter of fact, it's counterintuitive. Your mind's never gonna quiet without God's help, bro. That's a promise. That's a guarantee. And I know it sounds, you know, again, I understand I got an audience of people that, hey, I don't know about all that, bro. But I want to have the conversation. And anybody who's a non-believer, please feel free to, you know, shoot me a DM on Instagram, bro. Andy Concept 87. I'd love to have that conversation with you, man. You know what I'm saying? Again, there's something. Not to go in a whole back and forth debate, because there's people who are far more intelligent than me who can do that with you, but I'm going to tell you why I believe what I believe, and I think you're going to resonate with it, because it's something that everybody can resonate with. Everybody knows on some level. So that's what I would say to you, man. The whole politics, all that, this, that, and the other. You know, a lot of times people get involved in those conversations because they want to feel like they have some sort of meaning, or they stand for something, because humans know that. They need to have a good life. You got to stand for something outside yourself. So, I stand for this particular political party and this particular view, and you got that on the right and the left, man. But why? Why is that the case? Start asking why. If you keep asking why and you go down a rabbit trail, you're going to find the truth, man. But you got to be wanting to look for it, and a lot of people don't want to look for it. People don't want the truth. They want their own truth. And some people aren't ready for that conversation, so that's something else I would say to you. If they're not ready to be open-minded to that, you're wasting your time. You're spinning your wheels, man. You're wasting your time. And just love them anyway. Doesn't mean that you treat them, you're whatever. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, everyone's having an identity crisis. Everybody's scared of their mortality. They know they're going to die, and they're like, well, what am I doing with my one and only life while I'm here? I better find some way to add meaning to it. And we all find our own ways of doing that, you know? But it's never enough, and that's so crazy, but it's the truth, though. It never is. I'm going to go take a piss. I'll be right back. This whole beer's got me jumping around in this chair. I'll be right back. Gentlemen, what you got for me? Not so 1992. I've definitely been feeling that sense of mortality more and more lately. Maybe it's due to the state of the world at the moment. But I've been contemplating a lot lately what the point is, if any. Hey, bro, it's a fair point, man. It's a fair point. And I mean, look, everybody's freaking out, dude, over this coronavirus thing. And you're seeing, like, people are dying left and right, you know, and all right, well, you know, I go to school, I get a career, I do this, I do that. Okay, and it's over. That's why for me, before I was saved, it was all about, hold on, what's that? What about that? Not so 1992. It makes me feel kind of hopeless, like I don't know what direction to head, and if it's even worth heading in that direction. Yo, I resonate with that 110%. Because once I was kind of like at that point in my life where I'm like, do I even really want to, like, for me, it was like, you know, I don't know exactly what your goal is, but for me, it was like, okay, do I really want, like, if this is my only life, do I really want to have the burden of having a family? Why don't I just make it all about me? Right? Why don't I just party it up or whatever? But because I've already done that. And it's not enough, bro. It's a bunch of crap. It's not fulfilling. And there's this thing inside of you, bro. I'm telling you. There's like this switch inside of you that's turned off. Oh, I don't even know if that's the best way to put it. Like I said, now let's go back to the puzzle thing. It's like you're a puzzle box, or whatever. You're not a puzzle box. You're a puzzle put together, you're missing a piece. And you just, it's like, well, okay, well, what do I do? And it's the most crazy thing, bro. And you know, a lot of people don't like the answer of, well, maybe it's a supernatural answer. People are like, I don't know, man, but I got to believe in all these other things I don't necessarily like about, you know, the Bible and all this other stuff or whatever. And I said, look, I didn't even know if I believed it, because I say I was a cultural Christian growing up. But I said, listen, if this is real, it's going to pan out. If not, I'll go back to doing what I got to do, brother. CMC 1996, what's up, brother? You know what I mean? So I feel you. In the midst of all this, what's the point? And I felt that a lot. You know what I mean? Because even I knew, once I get this goal, it's still not going to be enough. What's the point? You know that. What's the point? Why do anything? But then you do nothing, and you're freaking miserable because you're not doing nothing. So, you know what I'm saying? In those situations, man, I think that's when God's really getting your attention, bro. And I don't know where you currently stand at. And again, I want to be careful not to impose my views, but just like, think about that, man. What's the point? And maybe I should ask, if there is a God, hey, man, if you're out there, tell me. Show me something, man, because I'm starting to realize, if I'm being honest, this doesn't really amount to anything. What's the point? You know? Outside of legacy, I'll give you that. A legacy. Oh, I contributed this to planet Earth. Right? Like you're Elon Musk or you're, you know, somebody who does some big thing, and you know, not even got to be that big, but you get what I'm saying. As far as your impact on people's lives, you just do what you can in your community, you know, on a smaller level or whatever, and maybe that's enough for you. But a part of you knows it's not enough, man. If that's what you're finding your meaning in by itself, like, oh, I'm Elon Musk, I created this, and this. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm the community guy. Everyone knows in my community I was a good guy. Is that enough for you? You know it's not, bro. Just start asking questions, bro. This is good that you're asking questions. I'm telling you, I was asking the same questions 10 years ago. And I'm stubborn, bro. So I did a lot of research. I you know, did a lot of back and forth. I watched lots of debates on all these different things, and eventually it was just like, look, if I'm ever gonna find out this is true, at least in regards to Christianity, man, I gotta explore that route. You know what I mean? That's all I'm trying to say, man. Yeah, I'm glad that I'm summing up how you feel, man. Because it's everybody. Everybody feels that way. Everybody feels that way. You're not alone, dude. I was there, and now I know. You know what I'm saying? And it's part of the reason I'm here on this live stream, bro. Just talking to y'all. Just wanting to check in. Because, listen, before I was saved, and I don't mean to sound like a prick when I say this, but I was just so selfish. I'm like, well, I'm not making no money doing this. I could just be doing whatever the hell I want. Why do I care about other people? What's the point? What's the point? Why am I doing this? And you're like, oh, well, you should just be a good person. Why does that even matter? That's what I would say. And nobody could really debate with me on that. Like, whoa, I guess, yeah, you're right. Life has no meaning, so you make it, you do whatever you want to do. And I'm thinking, well, as long as I obey the law and I'm staying out of trouble, who cares? But I knew I was miserable doing those things, man. You know what I mean? I knew there had to be something more, something that I couldn't come up with on my own. So I explored the route of Christianity, and it panned out. And I know it'll pan out for you too, but let me be careful. Again, I don't want to tell you what's going to happen, and I don't want to feel like I'm doing that to you, because I didn't like that when people would do that to me either. So I'm sorry, but I'm passionate, because I know it really, that's the puzzle piece, brother. That's the last piece you're looking for. You know what I mean? That's all I'm trying to say. I'm sorry, man, not to impose my views on you, but I'm just keeping it real. I'm somebody who's very passionate about truth, man, and I had to be willing to try something that didn't make sense. Because logically, I'm like, you mean this book? You talking about this book with talking snakes and talking donkeys? This got the answers to everything, really? But it did. I mean, you gotta admit, bro, like, if there is a God, can he not have talking donkeys and talking snakes and whatever? You know what I'm saying? Like, can this not happen? And trust me, it was uncomfortable for me, but, you know, it took me a while to realize, okay, let me put my full trust and faith in this and see what happens. And it panned out, man. I was transformed, brother, in a moment, in an instant. My addictions were healed. That's why I talk about it. That's why I always bring it up, and I can't help but not bring it up. CMC, 1996. One quick question, bro. Starting to go in the right direction, but how to keep the consistency without falling back in bad habits? Well, what are the causes of you falling back into bad habits? Is it friends? Is it certain things you're doing? You got to completely cut yourself off from those things, because you can't expect to do new things when you're putting yourself in the same old conditions that cause you to do the same stupid crap you're always doing. Not to insult you, I'm saying, you know what you're doing is not beneficial to your life. So you just got to ask, bro, what's the system around these addictions of yours that's continuing to enforce them, and how do you tear those down? Mainly friends. Your friends suck, bro. They're not bad people. And listen, I don't. You know, one thing I used to be very pessimistic about human beings, bro. Even though I was a dirty, rotten human being myself. But what I will say is, people don't always mean. Not all people. Not saying that some do, for sure. They mean what they mean to do bad in your life. They only care about themselves. But one thing you understand, and again, for me personally, from a Christian worldview, once you understand that people are inherently selfish, and that they're listening to their hearts and going with their impulses, bro, they don't mean to lead you down the wrong path, but they're only doing what they know. It's unintentional. They might mean well for your life, but their ways about moving through this world are just as flawed as yours, man. What do you expect? You know what I'm saying? So if you can understand that by hanging around the current friends, you're in a situation now where you understand the current friends you have, you've outgrown them. You've outgrown those friends. You know what they're doing just isn't really the route you want to go, and it's not really doing you any good, and you just got to lovingly, you know, distance yourself from that. So, you know, if they hit you up, you know, you got to have some distance. You know what I'm saying? Don't be a complete, well, if you have to completely go ghost, you got to go ghost. But with that said, if there's a better way to do it, then do it. And what I mean by that is just like, you know, if they hit you up, hey, what's up, brother? You know, and just keep it real. Like, look, they'll hit you up, hey, brother, like, you know, CMC 1996, I don't know your name, but we're going to call you, your name's Mike right now. Mike, bro, we're going to go get high, or we're going to go do this and that. Where you at? Hey, brother, you know what? Nah, I appreciate the invite, man, but I'm just kind of done with that right now, man. That's it. Don't mean you're insulting me. I'm saying I'm not really feeling that right now, brother. It's just not really working for me no more. Let them know. And if they're really your friends, if they really mean well, they're going to respect your wishes, and they're going to back off. But if they try to guilt you, oh, what you mean? You're better than me? Or, what are you, a square now? Listen, you already know they're lost. They're lost people who don't want the truth. Okay? And when they don't want the truth, all they're going to do is hold on to your ankles and drag you down to hell with them. You know what I'm saying? Literally and figuratively or whatever, if you don't believe in that. But it's true. They're just going to hold you back in place, man. You just got to know when to cut people off. They don't always mean, like I said, they mean well sometimes, but they're not always going to, you know, they're inherently selfish people, bro. They just want you to hang out with them because they're bored. I want to hang out with CMC 1996, aka Mike, for the time being. And Mike's a funny guy, but you know what? If he's not gonna be funny, I don't want to hang around him because they're only thinking about themselves. And you probably hang out with people who think the same thing. Why are you gonna hang out with somebody who's not entertaining? We all do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm being all over the place, but you get where I'm going at. If you can't offer them anything anymore, which means you're deciding I want to turn away from this whole lifestyle and do new things, and they're not feeling it, they're not really your friends, man. Because they're going to support what you want to do because they really want what's best for you. And a lot of people only want what's best for themselves. And that means you staying where you currently are in your life so you can be some form of entertainment for them. Let's see. Not so 1992. I only know what you know. It's a matter of perspective on almost anything. Oh, yeah, you know, bro. You know what? And it's true. We all have our own unique perspectives. We all have different lives. We all been through different things. But if you follow the truth, it's going to take you to the same destination. Trust that. Robo King, personally, I had the ghost. It definitely helps. That's the only option you got. Well, yeah. Bro, life's very simple, man. We overcomplicate things as humans, but what are you going to do? You can only control what you do. You can't control what other people do. So when you know people are just holding you in place, and you got things you know you got to do, or you're exploring and trying to figure out what you want to do, and they're holding you back, you got to do what you got to do, bro. Like I always say, put down a bag of bricks, man. Don't judge them now. Don't take that as a way to go and condemn people like you're better than they are, or that, oh, I'm wiser than them, although that might be the case, but they're just lost, man. That's why I always like to quote Jesus on the cross, bro. When they were crucifying God on a cross, he said, forgive them, they don't know what they're doing. Okay. Just, you got to have the same attitude. Forgive them. You know, like now it's just not the time. I got to distance myself, but it doesn't mean that I'm better than them or whatever. It just means they just want to continue to do certain things, and you know, you keep moving on in life, and hopefully you could be a light in their life. If they ever reach out to you, you talk to them about the truth. You talk to them. Point out the fact that what they're doing isn't working for them. It's a bunch of crap. That's what you do. That's part of loving people. It's very uncomfortable to really love someone. You got to point out uncomfortable things and have very uncomfortable conversations with people, but that's love, man. Right? That's love. Moonstrike Ultra, what's up, brother? Where'd you put your mask at? It's somewhere in the house, man. You probably haven't been around in a while since I got rid of it, but yeah, it's hot in that thing, bro. It's really hot in there. I had to get rid of it, you know? But it's around. I could bring it out if y'all want to see it, man. But, yeah, it's kind of too old to be running around in a costume, bro. Yeah, man, I hear you too. I used to be a shy person too, but the truth is you always follow the truth, bro. And even me, bro, you know, I talk a lot about, you know, being a born-again Christian now, but there's a lot of people at my church, bro. They don't like having those conversations. And here we are as Christians, we're all living up to the same standard, but they're like, oh, that sounds like it's going to hurt someone's feelings. I'm like, well, hold on a second. If I got a brother at my church, for example, and he's eating too much sugar, and he's getting morbidly obese, and his health is on the line. Now, granted, you want to do this with tact. You want to you want to try to ease your way into this conversation, but sometimes you're not going to have that kind of time to go, listen, brother, look, I love you, man, but you're unhealthy, bro. Can I help you? Like, you want to go work out together? Like, can I help you with this? This isn't good for you. Anybody who's not having that conversation with you doesn't love you. But people are scared. And, you know, I get it. It's shy. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't want to hurt people's feelings because you do love them. Like, I want to be gentle, kind, compassionate. And that might be your nature. But as you develop, especially as a man, especially if you're thinking about leading a family one day, you're going to have those conversations with your kid, with your spouse. You got to be open to receive correction. And granted, done with love. You don't want your girl You don't want your girl coming at you disrespectfully, but if she's telling you the truth, like good job, Robo King, point out, yeah, it's telling the truth in love. Your girl's telling you the truth in love. You want to be open to that. You got to be teachable, man. You're never gonna make any changes, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, and your quality of life is gonna be crappy if it's built on a foundation of lies. You want people to tell you the truth, man. If they're not telling you the truth, if they're not willing to do that to piss you off, potentially piss you off, they don't love you. They don't. Moonstrike Ultra, honestly, I've become a lot more socially distanced with others because many obsess over others' businesses. Yeah, I don't like gossip either. And they obsess over others' business than just having a fun or interesting conversation. It's an annoying excess. Then it always falls back to lust and judgment. Welcome to planet Earth, right? Like, that's what it is, man. And just, again, you got to remember, some of you guys, man, I really think, and I don't know where your current beliefs are, but I think there's just I think God's given you wisdom, man, just kind of pulling you in a certain direction, especially when you're probably the wisest person in your social group. That's an indication, man. There's a reason for that. Dude, it's just like, man, am I the only person here? Because this was me for a very long time. I would hang out with a lot of friends, and I'm like, yo, guys, we're like in our almost mid-20s now. Are we going to keep just getting drunk all the time and doing stupid crap all the time? Like, what's going on here? What do you guys want to do with your lives? And that conversation was always uncomfortable, and they would always just kind of, deflect and talk about something stupid and laugh and get high and do dumb shit, excuse my language. And it was just the same thing over and over again to a point where it's like, okay, well, you got to distance yourself. You know what I mean? And you're getting it. Something in you is realizing, okay, I love these guys, but this just isn't it. There's got to be more going on here. And I've outgrown this situation. Robo King recently got into it with an atheist friend of mine, which is why I asked that question earlier. He just doesn't seem to even want to go that deep, so I just leave him alone for now. It just bothers me so much to see him waste away, but I can't force him to do right either. For me, I just keep him in prayer. Yeah, look, you got to be gracious with your atheist friend, and you don't want to come across as someone who's like, oh, well, I got the answers, and they're inferior or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But it's not that. It's just some people are holding on. It's bigger than a logical, rational, reasonable kind of discussion. It's emotional. You know what I'm saying? It's deeper than that. And again, all you do in those moments is when you do interact with them, love them, man. Love them. Talk to them. Just check in on how they're doing. See how they're doing. Do something nice for them, man. Be in service to them in some way, shape, or form. Because sometimes some people, bro, and I mean, I've had friends like that. I've known other people in a similar situation. You love them into the faith because that's what God calls you to do. The reason why they're atheists is because somebody really dropped the ball, especially someone who claimed to be a Christian or some other religious background and treated them like dirt, or were hypocrites and were phony and didn't actually believe what they believe or practice what they believe. And they were like, why would I believe this crap if this person doesn't even believe what they believe? Which is a fair question, man. So again, you have a dialogue about it. You don't try, your goal isn't, first of all, something you need to understand about your own faith, bro, as a Christian. It's something I tell a lot of people now. As a Christian, you can't convert nobody. You see, the Christian conversion isn't about adopting a new set of beliefs. God converts you. You are born again, regenerated. Google biblical regeneration. I wouldn't be a Christian if I wasn't born again. Something happens to you. Like you don't, I'm a Christian now because I decided to be. You can't decide to be a Christian. A real, genuine, truly born again Christian. So, you tell them that, and that's a claim. That's a claim right there. And they go, oh, well, I don't believe that. If you mind trick yourself, like, listen to me. If you're not willing to test it for yourself, then brother, That's a revelation about your own, your own, it's a revelation about the condition of where your heart currently is. You don't want the truth. Or you're not willing to search for it, rather. Right? Test it. If it doesn't pan out, if you really cry out to God, and I say the word cry, I'm going to put an emphasis on that, like humble yourself. Cry out, Lord, who are you? Let's say you don't believe it's Jesus, God, whoever you are. Please, just make it clear to me. And if you're not willing to do that with a humble heart, dude, you're so far from wanting the truth, it's not even worth having a discussion. Like Jesus says, don't cast your pearls in front of swine. And why does he say that? Because pigs don't know the value of pearls, okay? They don't know what to do with that. And there's still a process. Hold on a second. Not so 1992. What happened when you were born again? Sorry if you've already talked about it on the channel. It's been a minute for me. Okay, fair enough. I have a few videos why I became a born again Christian on the channel. My YouTube testimony, or my Jesus supernatural encounters with Jesus video. A lot of different. I've talked about it multiple times, but just to answer it shortly, my thing was well, actually, let me just tell you what happened, just to answer directly. So I've always had anxiety, depression. This feeling, this void on the inside. Like no matter what I did, no matter how many beautiful girls I slept with, no matter what kind of experiences I've had, I never had peace. It was never sustainable. It was like I had a sense of it. It went, here's the way I would explain it. So there was always this up and down kind of thing of life with me, right? So the ups, you have a good moment, you achieve something, you get into a relationship, whatever the thing that's going to put you up emotionally, you're on this upward trajectory. And the thing is, you have a good time, but then you go back down. And the lows always outlast the highs. The lows are the everyday grind of life, how you feel on a consistent basis. And no matter what I did, no matter how fit I got, no matter what I accomplished, it was just never enough. And I'm starting to think to myself, like, man, like, what can I do to, like, stop this? You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, obviously people say, oh, just be appreciative of what you have and all this. And yes, logically you should, but it's still not enough. You're still completely ungracious, even though you've been blessed. And you can practice that, and you can do all these new age tactics of stepping into the present moment to distract yourself from what's going on internally. But the truth is, the root issue is always there. You're always feeling that way. So for me, when I was born again, when I fully surrendered to God, when it was truly the prayer of whatever you want me to do with my life, I will do it. It's your will, not my will. And I meant that from the heart. I got emotional. I cried because before it took me 3 months to surrender to God because I didn't realize why it was so hard for me. I was like, look, let me just believe it and see what happens. I couldn't believe it because there's so many outrageous claims in the Bible that I was just like, this is like, how can I believe in talking snakes and donkeys? Like, I had the fear of being stupid, but really what it was, I had fear of letting go of control. So when I finally came to a place where it's like, okay, if I'm really going to test this, I have to let go of control. And worst case scenario, I can reason my way back to sanity if it's a bunch of crap, right? But in that moment, that plug, that void on the inside was filled. I had peace of mind. It didn't make any sense because I was in the exact same situation I'd always been. So basically what happens when you're born again is this. Peace, think of the word peace for a second. In a biblical sense, peace isn't just the lack of conflict. It's reconciliation. Okay? So for example, you're playing baseball outside your neighbor's house. You hit a ball. The ball goes through their window. You break their window. You always feel this, even though you might apologize, you feel there's some kind of tension. They're like, oh man, I probably should have repaired the window. Right? You repair the window and you pay for it and you feel reconciled. You feel like there's been a wholeness added to that situation. It's really fully over. You're on good terms. When you are born again in the Spirit, you're reconciled to God. And when you're reconciled to God, which is the source of life, according to a biblical context, You are filled with peace, unconditional love, which is what we're all striving for, which is why we do anything in this life, because we want to be worthy and accepted. And we want to have an identity. We want people to accept us. This is why we're all addicts to human validation, whether you admit it or not. We're always concerned what other people think, because if they don't like us, then we don't feel like we're loved. God fills you with his love. You don't need to be validated by humans no more, because God validates you, and you know it. It happens in an instant. So you're filled with unconditional love, peace, supernatural peace of mind, no matter what you're going through, because you're fully trusting in God. Okay, in that one moment. And you're given new desires. Now you have a heightened sensitivity to what you used to do. So a heightened sensitivity to sin, which a lot of people aren't familiar with that term, but it basically just means missing the mark, which is God's standard, not your own. So there's God's standard, and then there's your own standard. Now all of a sudden you invite, here's another thing, the most important thing that happens when you're born again, you have the Holy Spirit enter you. So now, literally, and now it sounds crazy, but the third person of the Holy Trinity, the Holy Spirit, lives inside of you, which is why you're reconciled to God, which is why you have unconditional love, which is why you have peace of mind, but which is why you have a heightened sensitivity to the way you used to live. So for me, even though I'm still a flesh and blood male, okay, and I love beautiful women, and I would love to go back, a part of me would love to have sex with girls like I used to do all the time. I can't. Because the spirit in me, it convicts me so strongly. I'm so sensitive to it that I can't go back to it. I can't. It's like spitting in the face of God. It's like God essentially gave me everything I was searching for in life. I was looking for love, identity, self-worth, peace of mind, purpose, meaning. He gave me all of that in a moment, and now I'm going to go back to this junk food, this crap that I used to do, and I'm going to spit in his face. That's the way it feels. Now, before this happens, you don't even think about these things. You're like, I don't care. What's wrong with me having sex and whatever? I'm not hurting nobody. Well, you're hurting yourself and you're hurting the other person, whether you're aware of it or not. No one talks about that, but it's the truth. So what I'm saying is, when you are on good terms with God, trust me, you're transformed, internally transformed within a moment. And that's the mark of a real Christian. Now, there's a lot of people you talk to who are cultural Christians, who grew up in the church, who their mom or their dad or their community, like if you grew up in Texas, everybody's a Christian in Texas. But you are only a Christian in the biblical sense when you've been regenerated, which is another way of saying born again, born of the Spirit. And if you want to read this for yourself, it's in the Bible, the Gospel of John chapter 3. And you can read, he talks to another religious Pharisee at the time and explains to him. This guy was like, I'm doing all these. I look like a nice guy on the outside. I'm this super duper religious, nice, performing holy person on the outside. And Jesus goes, bro, until you've been born again in the Spirit, you can't enter the kingdom of heaven. So something has to happen to you. See, a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people, he's just a stupid, brainwashed, dumb Christian. Just like any other religion where you yourself make a choice to adopt a certain set of beliefs. If you're a born-again Christian, the only choice you make is to surrender. And when you do truly in your heart surrender, something happens to you. And you're never the same again. So I guess that's the best way I can answer to you. But basically, you get washed of your sin, you're on good terms with God, and you can never go back to living the way you want. Even if you do it, even like say for example, I go back to having sex, which happened. I'm not going to lie, I'm going to keep it super raw with you guys. I fell into temptation. One time I was under the influence. The other time I was actually trying to witness to a girl who believed in some really crazy, weird pagan beliefs about reincarnation and all this new age weirdo stuff that she learned in Brazil because she's a Brazilian girl. And I ended up falling into temptation because she put that big fat Brazilian booty in my bed, and I was stupid enough to play with fire, and I slipped. But I felt so convicted. I felt it was so wrong what I did, which I never, because I smashed that girl so many times before. I smashed her so many times that I never thought about it before. Now I have this heightened sensitivity. I felt like I spit in the face of the creator of everything. And it wasn't because I would normally feel that way, because I really wouldn't care. I wouldn't even think twice about it. But now, when you have the Holy Spirit in you, it's like that, when you imagine you put your finger on a hot stove, that instant feeling of, oh, that's hot. Oh man, that feels bad. I felt that. And that's what happens, man. So I don't do that anymore. Basically what I'm trying to tell you is through having that unconditional love, peace of mind, reconciled to God, you have everything you need to emotionally sustain you through life. So instead of functioning from a place of emptiness, right, where you're trying to, you end up developing addictions because you're trying to cope with life and how crappy it is, God's like, here's all the fuel you need. Because he's our creator, and he flips a switch. He flips a switch inside of us that only he can do, or puts the last puzzle piece, and now you're like, oh, I'm complete now. Now I'm not thirsty anymore. Because our entire lives we are thirsty. Now, it doesn't mean that after this happens that you still don't want to do certain things you used to do. I'm not telling you that, but it has less of a grip on you. You know what I'm trying to say? It has less power over you because you surrender that to God and he heals you. But because what I'm trying to say is, though, God is a God of love. So it's not, God can't force you to do what he wants you to do. But when you surrender to him, that's when he heals you. You only choose to surrender. He does the rest. That's a biblical promise. That's me telling you the truth. And that's what happens, bro. And you know what? You're actually more attractive as a byproduct of that. As a person in general, you're able to love people unconditionally. People you don't even like. Because a lot of people at church that piss me off all the time. But I don't listen to what I would do. Because look, you know this too. If you don't like someone, how do you love them? If you don't like someone, how do you love them? Because humans love conditionally. If I don't like chilling with you, I'm not going to hang out with you. Right? Or a girl, I'm not attracted to you. I'm not going to be, you know what I mean? Well, that's probably not the best example, but we love conditionally. But God gives you, when God fills you with his love, you're able to love others. It's called the living water. It flows through you. You're able to love others. The way I'm able to love you guys in these videos, even though I don't want to do them, is because God put love in me, bro. And I love you guys more than I've ever loved you in the past of doing this channel. Before I was like, okay, I do want to help people because I want to have purpose, but it's all about me. I want to make money. I want to, you know what I'm saying? If I'm not making no money, I don't care. Screw these kids. That's the way I felt. I'm just keeping it raw. I'm not trying to look like a good person here because I'm not. Apart from God, there is no good in me. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So this is, sorry to beat around the bush and be all over the place with it, but that's pretty much what happens, man. You are truly transformed, man. You are born again. You are a new creation. And it's insane, dude. It took me a whole year to really understand what really happened to me because I didn't get it. I was like, what? This isn't just a feeling. This isn't changing. I'm different now. Why? You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. But anyway, hold on. Let me look at these questions here because I know a couple questions came out. Let me see here. CMC. 1996. What happened to your shoulder, brother? Well, the other day, my dad asked me to help him out. He's like, hey, man, can you give me and your brother, and my dad, my brother, they run a landscaping business. And I don't work with him, but, now, they asked me to need some help because they were trying to plant some palm trees. And at first, I was like, yeah, it's just good. I planted a couple of trees, man, that's all. And then I get there, and all these trees, just the stump alone weighs 500 pounds. And there was like 10 trees. So me showing up there, I just had like a tank top on. It's Florida. It's freaking 90 degrees outside all the time, every single day. I was moving these big ass palm trees, excuse my language, with, and it was just, my skin was just hitting these spiky trees, man. So I got all jacked up over here and over there, but it's all good though. Robo King, bro, how do you witness New Age folks? Have someone like that in my life too, trying to figure out what to say sometimes without forcing things, Robo King, hit me up, bro, on Instagram, man. Hit me up on Instagram, bro. We gotta have a conversation, just so you know. Not so 1992. 100% get what you're trying to say. I would like to experience it, but I'm definitely not there. Well, yeah, bro. And the truth is, again, it's all about surrender, man. And essentially what I'm saying is, It means you come to the end of yourself. It really means, God, whatever you want, I'm willing to do it no matter what I want. Even if, you know what I mean? Like, for me, I had to let go of all the casual sex that was happening. And the second thing was I had to let go of control, man, because I only trusted myself. I didn't trust God. How can I trust? It's hard to trust something you don't see. It's invisible. It's like, what? What do you mean? How am I going to trust something? I don't want to be stupid. But you do, and it happens, man. It really does, bro. And then from there, your life's never the same. And you're over here on YouTube doing live videos, looking like a weirdo, bro. But it trust me, man. But that's why Jesus says He's the way, the truth, and the life, man. The life. You will get life poured into you, bro. Because right now, and you know what it's like, man. You spin your wheels to a point where you start to feel dead on the inside, bro. You know it. You become indifferent. Who cares what happens? It is what it is. But I don't know, man. I guess that's what I would say. But again, you guys already know, man. Any of you guys ever have any questions, you guys already know where to reach me on Instagram, man. Just reach out, man. Reach out. We'll have a conversation. And I'll answer all your questions. The goal wasn't to really make this into another Christianity discussion, but it happens, man. I'm glad you guys are asking questions, though, as you're interested in knowing, which I'm always glad, always happy to answer, but I'm going to probably get out of here in a few minutes. If you guys have any last minute questions, let me know, man. It's going on a while here now. Which CMC 1996? Which version of the Bible do you read? I usually read the English Standard Version. So that's the one I would go to. It's probably the most accurate as far as translations go to the source material. So I would go with that. But once you start digging deep into it, there are the original Hebrew translations, the Greek translations, and those words have different meanings. And trust me, man. I mean, the ESV, the English Standard Version is definitely dependable, though. And most of them are, but you just want to do your research on that, man. You know what I'm saying? It's not that they're trying to lie to you or whatever. It's just, it happens, man. Some people, like for example, Jehovah's Witnesses versions of the Bible, bro. I mean, it's the same Bible, but they switch up some really key things that change the whole entire faith. So just stick with the ESV, man. Sorry to be all over the place, but I would say stick with the ESV. That's in 1992. You're a good dude. Your videos are very on point and have helped me a lot. It's insanely positive and beneficial what you do, and I'm thankful. Thank you, man. Hey, man, thank you, man. God bless you, brother. I'm glad I could help, man, because that's what I'm here to do, brother. Is put you here to serve, and that's what we're all trying to figure out to do. How we're called to serve others, man. And everyone's got gifts and interest and things that personally piss them off that they're passionate about, and I don't like to see lost people, bro. I don't like to see people unnecessarily suffer. I don't like to see young boys be, who have been led astray, who don't know how to be men, and it's not because sometimes it is your fault, but you weren't given a fair shot, man. I don't like to see young boys. I don't like to see cowardice, bro. That's my thing. And I want to help young guys, especially the girls too, because I love the women. It's not a girl versus guy thing. It's just we gotta start being honest about this, man. We are different. We're built differently, and things are expected of you, whether you live up to the standard or not, bro. I'm just keeping it 110% real with y'all, especially younger guys. I'm old, as someone who's older. I've been there, done it. I tasted there, whatever there is to taste in the world, it's not worth it. It's vanity. Okay? It's vanity. Vanity. That's a guarantee, bro. All right, guys. Well, yeah, I'm gonna get out of here too. All right, boys. Well, it's been nice having this conversation, man. I love you guys. I'm gonna pray for every single one of y'all. If y'all have any questions, again, man, just shoot me a DM on Instagram, Andy Concept 87, and I'll you guys can reach me there. All right. Love you guys. I'll see you soon.